Oh, dang, Jake, I remembered. I forgot to get ranch for my carrots. It's not enough ranch. I like to have carrots with my ranch. Right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to 7 p.m. class. Actually, not yet. We have like 10 more seconds, and then it'll be 7 o'clock. For those who haven't taken my classes before, I know this is probably redundant for like, we all took it, but just in case if you haven't took my class, my name is Julia, and thank you so much for attending the 7 p.m. Session of our Hatha concentration tonight. So if you are just joining and you weren't here for the last class, go ahead. I got my toys everywhere. But you can go ahead and definitely bring a blanket for this class. I usually recommend it for every yoga class that you take, or if you have it at home, whatever, to always have a blanket so that you can get a little more support for your joints. But you're definitely going to want to get some sort of blanket or padding for this class. I would try your best to get 2 blocks. Stiffer pillows are okay, like maybe like a decorative couch pillow or something, like that's fine. But if you have 2 blocks, I highly encourage you bring it into the class. And you can either is fine, bring a strap. And a strap can be anything. If you have your own yoga strap, that's cool. If you don't, well, most of us have belts, scarves, or athletic jump rope, and you can use that. But what I am hoping for tonight's class is if you have some sort of a staff. And the staff that I am using tonight is just the end of my Swiffer, or I should say, the handle of my Swiffer, and I removed the bottom part that actually does start, doesn't have any fresh, clean action. At the bottom, I just went and I popped it off. So most broom handles are twistable. These guys have little buttons. So if you have something that resembles a staff, that would be awesome to have. And if you don't, that's totally cool. That's where the strap comes in hand. And I'm still going to give it like another minute or two because I see that the numbers are increasing. So I want everybody to get a chance to grab their props and to get some water nearby, please. Through the sequencings that we have been doing for today is more strengthening throughout our back and some ankle work too. And the reason why I chose this is because last week we worked more with our core for some requests of integrating more of a workout into some of my classes because some of us were starting to feel really lethargic because some of us are either having to stay at home or out there working, and was like, okay, what can I do to just keep this like energy alive? And so that's what we're going to do today is working on back conditioning and strengthening, as well as working with ankle conditioning and strengthening, just so that we can get excited to get back climbing outside, get climbing in the gym, because those are the huge proprietors is our legs, feet, and our back, and our arms too, everything, but you know what I'm getting at. So what I would like to say, like I said in the beginning of last class, and we are approaching May, and some of you have like kind of had inquiries on when Adventure Rock would be opening, and what are the details that are going to be following that. And the best information that I can bring to you tonight is I would just sit tight and I would wait more on the updates that the official Adventure Rock websites and social medias will provide for you, because information can be like as we exchange it, it can be easily misconstrued, or just false information could lie there, and we don't want to get your hopes up if you heard that we're going to open tomorrow. So the best way to be informed is to continue to subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, please do so on the Adventure Rock YouTube. Follow the Adventure Rock Instagram, and the best platform is the adventurerock.com website. I just want y'all to be informed from our actual gym when we release more information as we get into May. So that's the best that I can give you. So hang on tight. We're going to be able to see each other again. That's not blocked by a screen, and it's going to be awesome. Awesome. And so with that being said, go ahead and with the start of our practice, let's make sure that we have either that strap or that staff kind of placed towards the side and up at the front. You can have your blocks towards the front of the mat too, where you're facing. And I would have the blanket onto the mat because we're going to need it right away too. Good. I just saw a couple of people that joined the class. If you didn't just hear me, 2 blocks, a staff or strap, and a blanket. And now that we are all nice and formed, we can go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. I will be playing my own music, and at any time that the video disconnects, just go ahead and go onto our actual YouTube page and click on the next live video, because it did that earlier, and that's what we did. So in case it happens again, don't fret, just go back to our page. So as we start to find ourselves in this comfortable seated position, let's go ahead and grab our hands here, grab them, and let's gently place our right hand onto our Buddha belly. Love it. Cherish everything that's here. And take the back of the left hand onto the lower spine. And as we start to find a spinal extension here, we're going to first inhale, bring the shoulders up towards our ears and rotate them back into the girdle. Good. And starting to engage through the front core, the back core. And as we find this engagement, find your navel and lift 2 inches up higher. You might not physically move 2 inches, but just to have the inspiration for spinal elongation. Very minimally tuck the tailbone, just very slightly, and find this most energetic spine or posture as we are sitting here on our mat. And so as we start to straighten out through the lumbar spine, we want to make sure that we aren't arching forward a lot. We're just finding that natural lift, kind of making it more straight than curved. And then as we breathe, we're going to intently inhale, press our stomach into our right hand, let the Buddha belly shine. And then as we exhale, we're going to intently pull that stomach in and then slightly up the rib cage. So we're working more with our diaphragm to breathe here. So inhale, extend the stomach out. And then exhale, engage that core and bring the stomach in. So we're working more with our diaphragm to breathe here so that we can find more endurance into our breath, find more control, especially working to engage our core as we still find this sense of breath. For when we do get back on the walls, we can keep ourselves properly engaged when we reach the crux and not panic and just use our breath as we get to those challenging parts. And so just like the cruxes we do, in climbing, get to that challenging part, allow the breath to guide you there, as well as the crux of this practice here. So finding that minimal core engagement and working with that stomach as we breathe, manipulating that breath. Slowly inhale and out, exhale. 2 more times. Keep finding that lift into the spine. Good. Our hands are probably getting a little tired here. So on the next breath, we're going to go ahead, inhale, bring our arms up to the T. The shoulders are still back here. And as our arms are to the T, we're going to inhale, open up without arching through the spine. We're going to open up the chest and bring our arms back. So our spine is still nice, straight, and strong. And we're just guiding our wings back so that we can stretch through our pecs. So our chest as well as into the front part of our shoulders here. So as if we're trying to squeeze the pencil in between our scapulas while keeping our upper body strong and supported. For 3 more breaths. Each exhale, we might find our arms going more towards the back of the room. Good. Flipping the palms up, nice and strong. Inhale, stretch the fingers all the way up energetically towards the ceiling. And then palms together, exhale, Samasthiti, or heart, palms to the heart center. Now, as we find ourselves here, go ahead and set an intention for your practice, whatever brought you here onto this mat. Or maybe have the word energy or any of the terms like energetic, energize, anything energetic to influence you in this practice today. Then as you set your intention, we're going to do that one more time, and we're going to extend our arms out to the sides and then bring our shoulders back. Keeping that wingspan here, find that core engagement, and still lift up through the chest while keeping your shoulders away from the ears and back, closing up the space for 3 more breaths here. Good. Keep the arms up to the T. Lower the right hand to the ground, flip the left palm up. Inhale, extend it up towards the ceiling for 2 breaths. Good. Flat right palm, and keep your bicep in towards your ear. And as we inhale, we're going to side bend all the way towards the right side, keeping the left knee rooted and eye gaze up towards the left thumb. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, rise, both arms up towards the ceiling. Keep the right arm lifted and lower the left fingertips to the mat. Good. The shoulder is in the socket, and let's meet the bicep more towards the ear. Rip through the right knee, and on the next breath, flatten the left palm and inhale, laterally bend over towards the left side of the room. Keeping the arm near and possibly towards the back of the room, and maybe taking the eye gaze up to follow the thumb. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And we're going to bring our arms up to the T. Bring the shoulders into the socket. We're just here to realign. And as we're nice and strong and realigning ourselves, let's flip the palms up and inhale. Make that connection back. Good. Pressing the palms together here, lifting up through the chest. We're going to inhale again, going over towards the right side. It's going to be more difficult since our arms are straight. So press the right hand into the left. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale, rise up towards the ceiling. And then prayer hands over towards the left side of the room. Pressing the left palm into the right. 3 breaths. Good. And then inhale, rise up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. Go ahead and do some shoulder rolls. And you're like, okay, I thought this was supposed to be a back class. What are we doing with our arms? Well, our limbs are the extension of our spine. Spine stabilizes our limbs and helps us function and move, do all the fun things. And so we need the help and cooperation of our upper body and our lower body to maintain this healthy spine. So I'm going to go ahead and find the reset here. You go ahead and find yourself at a tabletop position, keeping the blanket here. Coming into tabletop, just do 3 to 5 sets of cat-cows, really any organic movement here for the spine. So rotate the shoulders back, inhale, rise chest up, tailbone up into your cow. And exhale, round through the shoulders like you would in cat. And you're more than welcome to get funky here too. So if you wanted to maybe sway your hips side to side to get more into the spine, or maybe if y'all are SpongeBob fans, kind of bringing it around town with your hips, bringing it back and bringing it forward here, coming into your cow spine, rounding through the shoulders like you would in cat, bringing your hips back. And anything fun for you on your mat for some spinal movement. Good. Then we should have reached 5 breaths about now. So from here, we're going to come into a extended puppy pose. So keep your hips up, bring your arms forward, and then guide your chest towards the ground, stomach towards the thighs. So if you're bringing your stomach towards the thighs, you also want to bring the thighs towards the stomach so that we're not just bringing our hip crease back, because then we're going to go into child's pose. And if you would like to open up more through the arms, that's why the blocks are in front of the mat. If you wanted to bring them underneath your forearms or maybe underneath the elbows to kind of prayer hand here, making a little shark fin, you're more than welcome to bring that into your practice. But wherever you're at, stay there for 5 more breaths. And as we breathe, on your exhales, going deeper into your practice, and inhaling, finding more of an extension of our spine. Keep the toes rooted. Good. Inhale, we're going to come out of that, bringing the blocks forward if you use them. Bring it back towards the top of the mat, off the mat. Good. And I'm going to come forward into a supported plank here, bringing the knees together, and then fan out the hands to the corners. Inhale, bring the hips over towards the left arm, pressing the right arm into the ground. Eye gaze over the right shoulder. Good. Exhale to the center. Inhale, press the left hand into the mat. Bring the hips over towards the right. Good. And do this 2 more times for a total of 3. Keeping the knees together. Arms are straight. Good. And puffing up through the back so that we have that back core engagement. Good. And then coming back into tabletop position. So last week, we worked more with some balance in our bird dogs with our blocks. So let's just introduce that back into the practice. So I would go ahead and just set your blanket to the side here. Good. And if you have your 2 blocks, go ahead and grab them. If you don't, that's fine. But what we would like to do is place the block underneath your right knee and then a block underneath your left. I'm going to come this way because the mat's a little uneven. Cool. And so with the right toes, we want them pointed back so that we can challenge ourselves so the toes aren't onto the ground. If you feel like you're falling, just go ahead and put your toes down. But from here, we're going to extend the left leg back, toes pointed back, and then inhale, bringing the right arm forward here. Good. And so we want to find that lift into the lower spine up towards the ceiling, straightening through the spine, staying here for 5 breaths. Good. And then after we have reached our 5 breaths, 5 times, inhale, bring knee to elbow. Exhale, release. Go nice and slow and being conscious with your movement so that we're not flailing on the blocks here as we move. You want to be nice, energetic, and strong into your back, into your core, your arms, and your legs. Good. And then after you have done your 5, good. You could go ahead Either stay at this bird dog for 3 more breaths or bend at the left knee and bring your arm back and press your left foot into your right hand for 3 breaths too. Either way, you have those 2 options in case you don't want to do this back bend. Good. Bird dog, and then release. Go ahead and just switch the blocks. So on the top block to the right and the bottom block to the left. And go ahead and just do like a few sitting cat-cows here. Take water if you need to. It's a challenging sequence right away in the beginning of our practice here. So we're going to go ahead and after you have reset yourself, we're going to align ourselves back into our bird dog. So this time the left knee on the block. So extend the right leg back and the left arm forward here. And who knows, you might be more balanced on the side. You might not be. Yeah, so try your best. 5 breaths into your bird dog. Engage the core and lift the lower spine up towards the ceiling. Good. 5 times. Inhale, knee to elbow. Exhale, release. Good. 4 more times. Moving as slowly as you can. Trying to challenge yourself, keeping your toes off the mat. And then once you reach your 5, 2 options. Either stay in your bird dog for 3 breaths or bend at the right knee and place your left hand back. And 3 breaths. Inhale, press the right foot into your left hand. And slowly release. Woo. And go ahead and come out of here. Slide the blocks back to the front of the mat. Good. And from here, keeping the toes curled, we're going to go ahead and come into a kneeling position. And then keeping the heels off the ground, we're going to come into a hovering kneel position. So maybe having the shins aligned to the mat. Good, lifting up through the spine here. So if this is easier for you, I would actually recommend, if you need help with balance, placing the blocks to the side of your feet and lifting up through the knees here. I'll move the blocks so you can see my feet. Good. So almost as if we're kind of resting our booty onto our heels. Good. And bringing the knees forward so we can lift up through the chest. Because if it's near our chest, it's not going to add that challenge for our ankles here. So you can have the feet together if that helps too. Feet together, press in. Pressing your hands into the block, lifting up through the chest. And once you feel like you are sturdy here in the best 90 degree that you have tonight, you can then take your palms to the heart center. We're finding that engagement into the lower core of the front body, the back body, as well as the shoulders are back and engaged. So also the top body. 3 more breaths. You've got this. And you can slowly just bring your knees down, flip the feet. Just take a couple breaths to reset the ankles or take a drink of water if you need to, because we're going to go back to that. Yeah. So as we go back to this practice, bring the hands to the blocks. Help yourself onto your toes here. The knees are pressed together and lift up through the chest. Good. And then from here, as you find that alignment, we can bring our palms to the heart center. And then inhale, bring our arms out to the T. Good. Inhale, twist on over to the right side. 3 breaths. Keep finding this lift through the chest so that we can balance better on our ankles. Good. Exhale to the center. And realign yourself. So if you catch yourself like I just did, go ahead and do so. Lift up through the chest. Engage the core. Arms up to the T. And inhale, twist on over to the left side. Yeah, this one is definitely challenging. So if cactus arms works better, you can go ahead and do that. Having your toes to catch and grip you. Good. 3 breaths. Come back. Woo. And go ahead, bring the knees forward, flip your toes. Good. And give yourself a little break here. Bringing the blocks back to the front of the mat. Good. Let's just come forward, bend at the knees, flip the feet up just to rotate through the ankles here. Good. If you want to sway the hips or anything of that sort, you can go ahead and do so. Okay. And then as we're here, we're going to go ahead and bring the feet back, coming into our plank position for 3 strong breaths. So pressing your hands into the ground, bringing your hips up towards the ceiling, the chest as well, and through your shoulder blades. Hike the hips up, inhale, bring your chest down, and then heels down in your downward facing dog. So go ahead and pedal out your feet, 1 heel at a time, stretching out through the hamstrings here. Some quad engagement will help with your hip hinge, bringing your stomach towards your thighs. Good. Bend the knees generously, eye gaze forward, and come into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Just walk on forward. Good. Find the inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, arms to the side. Inhale, rise, high mountain. Inhale, back bend. Good. Palms together. Exhale, Samasthiti. Take a breath. Hip hinge, forward fold. Hands onto the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Just going through some spinal elongation. Come back into your plank. Nice and strong for 3 breaths. Good. Shift forward. Chaturanga all the way to the mat. Good. Shoulders back. And as we inhale into our Cobra, we want to press the top of our feet and our pelvic down. And inhale, rise with the chest engaging the back core. Using more back than our hands to lift. Good. Exhale, release. Curl the toes. Inhale, rise. Chaturanga, downward facing dog. Pedal out through the feet. Good. Bend the knees generously. Eye gaze forward to hop, step, or walk into Uttanasana, forward fold. Find that inhale, half lift, figure 7. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to go ahead and bend the knees generously. Bring the tailbone back. Bring your arms forward, shoulders back, and inhale, rise into your chair. So from here, we want to find a strong spine, but we want to find flexation through the chest curving upward here. 2 more breaths. And inhale, rise all the way up. Back bend if you wish. Good. And then palms together. Exhale, hip hinge, hands to the mat. Come into your plank. And into your plank, bring your feet together. Come into side plank up to the right foot. And inhale, rise. Bring the left arm towards the ceiling. For 3 breaths. Engage the core. Keep your spine straight. Good. Exhale, release. Align the left hand with the right. Outer edge of the left foot. Inhale, rise. Right arm towards the ceiling. And maybe a little towards the back of the room so that we add more challenge to this balance. Not enough to flip you over. Good. After your 3 breaths, go ahead, find yourself back into your plank. In your plank, inhale, shift forward and chaturanga all the way to the mat. And in your chaturanga, or as we come down, rotate the shoulders back. In this Cobra, lift your hands off of the mat. Press your pubic bone and your feet into the mat. If you have a blanket, slide it underneath. And inhale, rise. Guide with your chest up and engage the spine into your Cobra for 3 breaths. Good. Exhale, release. Then go ahead, inhale, chaturanga, downward facing dog. Okay, go ahead and do some pedaling out with your feet here. Good. Do a few breaths in your down dog. Bend the knees, eye gaze forward, hop, step, walk to the front of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. And as we're here into this forward fold, grab your block and grab your staff. If you don't have your staff, grab a strap. Good. We're going to go ahead and we're going to bring the block in between our knees because we want to keep the hips square. We want to find strength and structure to our legs. And the staff here is going to be the same except for our upper body. Okay. So from here, as you squeeze the block, we're going to go ahead and start with some side body stretches. So bringing the staff up towards the ceiling. Good. We're actually making sure that the staff first is forward. Bring your shoulders back and then bring it up. Engage to the front core and the back core. Act as if you're trying to pull the staff in half here. And inhale, start to guide the right hand towards the ground. Extend the left arm to the side. Squeezing onto the block here. 3 breaths. Good, lift up through the left ribs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, send the left arm down. Bring the right arm up and side bending. Make sure that we find the lift into the right ribs for 3 breaths. Good, and then inhale, rise. Keeping the staff or the strap above our head. It's over the camera, but it's above my head for 3 breaths. Good, exhale, release. Staff is in front. As the staff is in front, making sure that your shoulders again are in line and you are engaged through the back spine. And inhale, we're going to twist on over to the left side. Bring the left hip crease forward. Good. Inhale to the center. Exhale to the right side. Right hip crease forward. One more time on each side. 3 breaths on each. Good. And then you go ahead and release the effort. Shake out through the shoulders, kind of swim, almost like we are kayaking or maybe on a canoe here. Good. You get a few moments to reset. And give your upper body a breather. Good. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go through some concentrated chairs. And if you were here for the previous class, it's going to look the same, except we're going to use more ankle work here. So from here, we're keeping our hips in, lift up through the chest. Good. Take the staff forward, rotate your shoulders back. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Bend at the knees and bring your hips back. Make sure we're not just arching into the lower spine, that we're lifting through the front of the chest here. For 3 breaths, plant your feet to the ground. Good. Inhale, rise, straight up. Take a breath. On the next inhale, come back in your chair for 3 breaths again. Keep that chest lifted. Keep the back strong here. Good. And then inhale, stand up. Catch your breath. All right, here's where it's going to get a little challenging. Inhale, come into your chair. And then once you find that hip hinge, lift up through the ankles onto your toes here. Engage to the core, squeeze the hips, engage the back. 3 breaths. Awesome. Keep the heels lifted and inhale straight up towards the sky with the arms, straight legs. Good. And then root through the heels. Bring the staff in front of your chest here. Just taking a couple breaths. Because yes, we want to build that conditioning in the strength for our arms, but we don't want to tire ourselves already because we're going to need it. All right. Whew. Go ahead and reset yourself with that breath. And so before we get moving, what we're going to do is we're going to do that sequence here. We're not going to hold it for breaths. What we're going to do is we're going to go through some movement where we're going to inhale, come into your chair, lift up through the ankles, and keep the ankles lifted. And then inhale, high mountain. Exhale to that chair. Squeeze the block. Inhale, high mountain. Keep the heels lifted. Exhale, squeeze the block. Come into your chair. And do this 5 more times. Now that we have our 2 examples, do 5 more. Making sure that we are hinging at the hips as if we're bringing our knees up and towards our stomach to remind us not to bend with our lower spine. And it's okay if your heels fall. Good. And then after you've done your 5, release the effort with your arms. Good job. We're going to need our upper body strength. So that's the only exercise that we're going to go ahead and do standing up here. Good. So with the block, I will go ahead and place it between our knees. We are going to go through this movement one more time, but we're going to do it differently. So instead of having the staff, we're going to have our arms actively up. So when we go into our chair and lift it through the ankles, we're going to send the hip crease back, and we're going to send the arms back, like Silver Surfer style, keeping our ankles up. Good. So let's go ahead and prep for that. Come straight. And we're going to do like that same thing of a movement. Inhale, rising, exhale to chair. We're going to do it 10 times, and we got it. Good. Hug the block in. Bring the arms up, shoulders are back, engage the back core, lift up through the chest. Inhale, lift up through the ankles. And then exhale, engage the core, engage the back core, bring the arms back, Silver Surfer style. Inhale, rise, straight up, keep the heels up. Exhale, Silver Surfer style. Good. Go ahead and do this 8 more times for a total of 10. I have a mirror in front of me, so every time I look at myself, it's crooked. It looks like I'm falling into it. It scares me. But perspectives are so funny. Good, and then once you've done your 10th one, root through the ankles, palms together. Nicely done. Remove the block. And go ahead and just kind of roll out through the ankles here. Give your ankles some loving catch with your breath. Take a drink of water. I've been up since 2 a.m., not by choice. So this is kicking my butt over here. Woo! Awesome. So now that we are all done and reset, we still want to make sure that our blocks are at the front of the mat here. Good. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and come to the front of the mat and come into Uttanasana forward fold. You're going to go ahead and take the right leg back and bend at the front knee into your high lunge. Good. And into your running lunge. And into your running lunge, we're going to go ahead and bring the right foot about 2 foot behind your left and come into your pyramid pose. So we're stretching out through the hamstrings here. The chest is forward. Creating that figure 7. Good. We're going to take the left block, bending at the left knee, a foot in front of the left foot. Good. So as we bend through the knee, we're going to flex the right foot back, come into your Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Right arm towards the ceiling, opening up towards the left side of the room, or the right side, I should say. Keeping the right foot flexed. Good. 2 more breaths. Slightly bend the left knee, place the right foot down, warrior 2, reverse the warrior, inhale. 2 more breaths. And then exhale, warrior 2. Straighten out through the legs. Reverse the triangle for 1 breath. 2 breaths, because this feels good. And then exhale, keep the legs straight. Hip hinge, come forward, grabbing the right block, and come into your Trikonasana. The block can go in front of your foot, that's okay. Open up your chest more to the right side of the room. Good. And then we're going to bend at the left leg. Pendulum swing the right arm towards the front of the room for side angle. 2 breaths. Good. And then very gently lifting the left arm and coming into your high mountain, or your high lunge, I should say. And exhale, hip hinge, running lunge, just to realign your blocks here. And as we realign our blocks, inhale, kick the right leg up for Uttanasana, forward fold. Nice. And now we're just going to take the left leg back into the running lunge or go through that same sequencing. So I'm going to go back to you can see me without the pull. Good. From here, bring the left leg forward, come into your pyramid pose, stretch up through the front hamstrings for about 2 breaths. And let's make it an even 3. Even 3. Ha. What an odd thing to say. Good. And then bend at the right knee. Place the block of foot in front of the right foot. Open up your left arm to the ceiling. Straighten up through the right leg. Coming into our Chandrasana, half moon. Flex to the left foot. Kick it towards the back of the room. 3 more breaths. Good. Bend at the right leg, engage the core. Drop the left foot, inhale, warrior 2, nice and strong. Flipping the right palm, reverse your warrior for 3 breaths. Good. Exhale. I'm going to do your warrior 2. Straighten the right leg, reverse your triangle for 2 breaths. And then hip hinge forward, coming into your Trikonasana, grabbing the left block, place it in front of your right foot. 3 breaths. Good. Bend at the right knee and pendulum swing the left arm down towards the front of the room. Keep opening your chest up towards the left side. Eye gaze up towards the thumb. 3 breaths. Nice. After the 3 breaths, inhale, arms back up. Re-square the hips, lift up the left ankle. Hip hinge, forward fold, grabbing onto the blocks. Inhale, kick the left leg up, Uttanasana, forward fold. Good. And then finally, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. And we're going to go ahead, take the block 2 off of the mat, hands to the ground. Let's go ahead, refine our plank position here. As we are in plank, bring the feet together to meet, and we're going to go to side plank again onto the right or the left side. We're going to come to the outer edge of our left foot and bring the right hand all the way up towards the ceiling. And once you do this, you want to find flexation through the right foot, engage through the core, and inhale 5-pointed star with your side plank. 5 breaths. You got this. You don't want to hold your breath. Find that stomach movement here. Good job. Place the right foot down. Side plank to the opposite side. So coming out to the right side, bringing the left arm towards the ceiling. Once you feel stable, you can then lift up to the right leg. Flex to the right foot. If you feel cramping in your hip, that means you're going too high, so lower. 5 breaths. We'll keep the quads engaged too. Hug the kneecaps. Pressing the right hand into the mat. Nice and strong. Don't hold the breath. You'll lose your balance. Good. After the 5 breaths, come back into your plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga to the mat. Good. And then you could go ahead and release here. If you don't have your blanket, you can go ahead and provide the blanket onto your lower pelvic area. Good. So we're going to find this cushion here. And we're going to take a block in between our thighs. And we're going to keep a block forward. So in the previous class, we learned how to do Locust Pose, or at least refresh yourselves with it if it's been a while. And we're going to do the same thing with our assistance with our props. The first time that we're going to do this is we are going to go through the Locust Pose just as normal. And then in the second way, we're going to go through some motions here. And so I'll show you the second after the first. So we're already pretty warmed up into our spine and our arms and all that good stuff. So let's point our toes to the back of the room and bring our block towards the top of the mat here. And so as we start to find, and please, if you didn't grab a blanket, it's gonna feel great not jamming your stuff into the mat here. So we're gonna find that strong core engagement. The arms are forward, toes pointed back. And for the one time, we're gonna inhale, rise, bring in the arms up towards the ceiling and the feet. Holding onto the block here on both, squeezing. 5 breaths. Engage the core, and each inhale, find more height into your locust pose. You should see rocking, that means that we're breathing. Engage the core. Good. After the 5th breath, go ahead and release everything. And just take a couple of breaths to reset here. Good. And so we're going to go through some alternating movements here. For the first half, we're going to alternate movement with our bottom leg. So we're going to 5 times inhale, rise our legs up and then down. Then after those 5 times, the upper body 5 times. And then after we take like a breath or two, a break, you gotcha. We're going to do 5 times for the whole body. It's going to be great. Cool. So we're going to do the legs first because it's easy. So go ahead and you can keep your arms straight, but just bring your forehead to the mat. Engage through the core. Point the toes back. Good. Pelvic to the ground. Squeeze the glutes 5 times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. 3 more times. Good. And then release. And we're going to do 5 times with the prop up front here. So root the toes, root the pelvic bone here. Eye gaze forward. 5 times. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. And move with your chest too. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. Inhale, up. Exhale, release. All right. 5 times, release. Take a breath or two. Oh, that's so good right now. Now we're going to do 5 times, but with our whole body here. And if you want to experience this without the props too, you're more than welcome to. It's just a suggestion here to keep everything intact. Good. So go ahead, extend the arms out, grabbing onto your block or possibly no blocks. Good. Keep the shoulders engaged and strong, the back strong, pelvic in. 5 times. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. 3 more times. Moving nice and slow and not hiking up so we're not hurting our back. All right, we did 5. Woo. Head onto the hands. Bend at the knees. Very gently. Windshield wiper ankles side to side. Also finding a rotation into the ankles. Good. Remove the props. Good. We're going to come into a bow pose. So keeping your toes up. Prep your arms like you would in a Cobra, lifting your chest, taking the left hand to the left foot, right hand to the right foot. And at the same time, as we push our feet into our hands, we're going to lift up through the chest here. 5 breaths into bow pose. Inhale, press the feet and lift up through the chest. Knees in, and we should see rocking 5 breaths. Each inhale, we find a lift through our spine. Good. After the 5 breaths, very gently release. Head to the ground. And bring the ankles, if you want to the outer edges of your hips. Grabbing onto your toes, bringing them towards your shoulder if you want to get that extra stretch on the top of your feet here. Good. Let's go ahead and cool down for the end of class. Bring your right arm to the T, left hand to your face. And from here, inhale, outer edge of the right side body, keeping your left hand stable. If you wanted to, you could take that top foot and bring it behind the lower knee. 5 breaths. Good. After the 5 breaths, very slowly come on the stomach. Bring in the right hand to the right face. Extend the left arm to the T. You know what to do from here. Support yourself here, either with the feet stacked or with the top leg behind the bottom for 5 breaths. For the 5 breaths, you can very gently roll back. Good. And we're going to assist our body to the left side, bringing our right arm straight just to roll onto our spine. Woo. Okay. Then as we find ourselves onto the spine, hugging the knees in, rocking side to side. Good. We're going to take our hands, interlace them behind the right thigh here. Place the left foot down and inhale. Just straighten the right leg towards the ceiling. You're more than welcome to grab a strap if you want to get a little deeper stretch here, but we're just cooling down here. So I'm not saying it's quite necessary. Just enjoy assisting yourself with yourself here, Yeah. Then as we have the right leg straight, we can then straighten through the left. Keep the quad engaged. Good. We're going to take our right arm to the T and very gently with the straight leg, inhale, tuck the left hip, and extend the right leg to the right side of the room, the left side of the room. Make sure that both shoulders are onto the mat here. So if it's not, you can just place the left hand underneath the right thigh to assist it. Two more breaths. Good. Inhale, guide the right hip, right leg all the way up towards the ceiling. Bend the right knee in. Bend at the left foot. Place the right foot on top of the left thigh in that figure 4 formation. Coming into figure 4 bridge. So from here, placing your hands by your hips. And on an inhale, we're going to guide the hips up towards the ceiling and guide our hands underneath our shoulders here, pressing the forearms into the mat, lifting our hips even higher up towards the ceiling. 3 breaths. Actively bringing the right knee down towards the ground to even off the hips. Very gently, slowly release. Nice. And then bending both the knees back in here, rock side to side. Good. Hugging the left knee or the left thigh in. Plant the right foot. Inhale, straighten the left leg towards the ceiling for 5 breaths. Keeping the foot flexed, the hip towards the ground. Good. And then once you find where the leg is straight, then you can straighten out the right leg. And after we have taken those 5 breaths, bring your left arm to the T. Just tuck the right hip underneath the left. Straighten the left leg towards the right side of the room. for 3 breaths. Actually, let's make it 5 because we think we did 5 on the last time. Good. And inhale, very gently guide it back up towards the ceiling. Bending at the right foot. Place the left foot on top of the right thigh. You don't have to do it from here. We're going to come into that figure 4 bridge. Inhale, bring the hips up towards the ceiling. You're more than welcome to take the hands underneath your hips, clamshelling. Pressing your forearms into the mat. 3 more breaths. You should be at total 5 then. Good. Very gently release. Hips to the ground. Good. Bringing both knees in one more time. We're coming to the end of class here. So if you wanted to, for some more hip therapy, you can come into your happy baby pose and bring your tailbone towards the ground and knees in towards the armpits here. Three more breaths. You can stay still. You can rock side to side if you want to. After those 3, meet your feet together, point the toes up towards the ceiling, and then inhale, bring your arms above your head and point your toes all the way to the front of the mat here. Taking the deepest inhale of your life. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You're more than welcome to place your hands and your feet wherever is comfortable for the next few moments here in our Shavasana. And as we are lying here in our Shavasana, I would like to share a quote ending today's class. And this quote's by George R.R. Martin from The Clash of Kings, A Song of Ice and Fire. That power resides only where men believe it resides. A shadow on the wall, yet shadows can kill. And oftentimes, a very small man can cast a very large shadow. So you're more than welcome to stay in your Shavasana since this is the last class. But if you would like to, you can start to find some micro movements from your toes and your ankles, your fingers and your wrists to get you settled for the rest of your night here. Taking a deep breath, inhale, bringing your arms above your head and knees into the chest. And letting it out with the cleansing sound. Very softly bring your knees and your upper body to the side of your choice. And when your timing is right, you can go ahead and find yourself at a comfortable seated position. Bring your palms into the heart center here. You can go ahead and take a bow for yourself and for everybody else that is sharing this virtual space with us tonight, all of our climber friends and family that we miss so dearly. Sending love to all of us that are currently sharing, receiving, and giving this energy of this yoga class tonight. And allowing peace to be present and still for the rest of your night as well. And namaste. Thank you, everybody, for attending the 7 p.m. portion of my yoga class tonight. And if you, by chance, took the 6 p.m., thank you again for, or thanking yourselves for sticking to 2 classes back to back. I love that. It's really fun. But like I said at the beginning of class, if you have any questions or inquiries about what Adventure Rock is going to look like for upcoming May, I just recommend for the best information being accurate for one being brought to you is continue to follow these live stream videos that we have to get you energized and pumped to bring you back here, the comfort of your own home. So subscribing to the YouTube channel, just subscribing to Adventure Rock's like social media, like Facebook and Instagram, as well as just following the website. I know it can get like really redundant being like, follow us here, follow us there. Well, that's where you're going to get the best news for what's happening inside the gym. So continue having fun with us in these web series. If you didn't see the Instagram post, we're getting hangboards made and pre-ordered. So if you want to do that for yourself, get a hangboard, go ahead and, get yourself one. They're Wisconsin, locally made, and they look awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and eat some leftover lasagna soup. You heard that right, lasagna soup. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your night. Good night.